the Salkantay Trek to Machu Picchu. It's been listed as one of the greatest hikes in the world, famous for its beautiful scenery, but it's not without its fair share of challenge. Hello, welcome back. Another travel video for you all. Today is about the Salkantay Trek. As always, if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I posted my Maldives video about a year ago and I still respond to every comment I get. I'm lightning quick on those responses. I respond within minutes. Okay, on to the video. Most people, when they look into Machu Picchu, they basically look at one of two options. Either you take the Inca Trail, which is like a famous hike through a bunch of Incan ruins, or alternatively, you can take a train up and then a bus, and eventually you get there and kind of make a day trip out of it. So what we did is actually kind of a maybe lesser known third option, which is known as the Salkantay Trek. Now, I've never done the Inca Trail, but I've heard this trek compared to the Inca Trail. People say the Inca Trail is much more Incan ruins and staircases, and the Salkantay, to contrast, is more natural scenery, and you just hike through the Peruvian mountains. So with the Salkantay, you have a couple options. I think most people either do the 4-day or the 5-day. And if you have the time, I definitely recommend the 5-day. That's what we did. So we went with a company called Salkantay Trekking, and this isn't sponsored or anything, but I highly recommend them. They gave us a great experience. Great accommodations. They made sure we were well fed, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, they had everything. Now, the hardest part about this trek is you're gonna be dealing with the elevation. So let me give you an idea of like our entire Peru trip and what we did to try and prepare for that elevation. The tour will pick you up in the city of Cusco, which, check my notes here, is about 11,000 feet or 3,400 meters above sea level. So for that reason, the common recommendation is you fly into Cusco from Lima, you go down to the Sacred Valley, stay there for a night or two, and then, end up back in Cusco. Sacred Valley is a big area, but in general it's about 2,000 feet lower or 600 meters lower than Cusco. And there's lots of little things you can see there. Once you've done your time in the Sacred Valley, you've acclimated to the elevation. Now it's time to make your way back to Cusco, which is going to be a little bit higher, so you might want to acclimate again. So basically on the day before the trek, Salkantay will call you into their offices. They'll have like a meeting with you and the group you're going to be hiking with and the guide. They'll give you a packing list in case you forgot anything last second. The city of Cusco has a lot of stuff in it. You can grab whatever. And I can make a whole video just on packing. But basically, we went in the middle of winter, and the first night we were freezing. We slept in like hats and gloves, layers, winter gear, and by the end we were basically in short sleeves and shorts. So you have to pack for the whole range of climates here. So anyway, they gather all your information, they pick you up at 4 a.m. and you're on a van and you're taken off into the mountains. So I'll be honest, the first day of the hike is not that scenic. You're kind of walking along like a little man-made irrigation water thing, and it's kind of narrow the whole time. But eventually you get to the first camp, and that's when the real challenge begins. So you'll be hiking up to Humantay Lake, and you can train all you want for this, but I'm telling you, the elevation is rough. I could not breathe. I remember my vision was going black, and I was seeing stars. One of the guys tried to ask me where I was from, and I tried to answer him, and I was just heaving for breath. The lake, just for reference, is about 4,200 meters or 14,000 feet above sea level. So the longer you can adjust to the elevation, the better, because it's going to be a rough hike. You do the hike up to the lake, you come back down to the base camp, and then the guides tell you, hey, that's just a warm-up for tomorrow, which is the real big day of the hike. And everyone's kind of nervous around dinner, like, am I going to make it up the mountain tomorrow? And you're going to freeze to death. You probably didn't sleep well that night before, so it's pretty brutal conditions, so you're really going to have to push yourself. So the next day, everyone wakes up, they prepare for probably the hardest day of the whole hike. And one little thing is, they do let you take a donkey up to the top, basically. It's like an $80 fee, and that's basically what my wife and I ended up doing. So I can't exactly talk to how difficult that part of the hike was. They said it was harder than the lake, and yeah, but I will say the views on the way up are quite nice. And then once you get to the top, it's more of the same. It's windy, it's freezing, and then you basically are walking downhill the rest of the day, and most of the rest of the hike, honestly. So you keep hiking down, and then the second camp you stay at is basically at a lower elevation at Cusco. So it's really just those first 2 days that are unbearable elevation, and then you're kind of adjusted at that point. So day 3 is more of the same. You're kind of just hiking through the jungle. There's crazy waterfalls and cliff sides to look at the whole way. At some point they take you and teach you about how coffee is grown and harvested. And by the way, the routine of these hikes is basically you wake up super early, everyone eats breakfast together, they give you a bag of snacks for the day, you'll hike all day, maybe take a couple breaks, eat some lunch, and then continue hiking until you get to your camp for the next day. You're going to be really disconnected. You're going to have no sense of time. You're just going to be, it's kind of a serene experience, to be honest. And the food is good the whole time. The chef did great with dietary restrictions. We had a vegetarian in our group, and the vegetarian options were just as good as the meat options. They're not just going to be giving you a bowl of rice. So at the end of the 3rd day, you're going to say goodbye to anyone doing the 4-day hike, and basically those people will take a bus to a town called Aguas Calientes or Machu Picchu Pueblo. But we ended up doing the 5-day. Okay, the 4th day, final day of the hike, and wow, this is really the best day. Honestly, I would not miss this day. It's actually really emotional. Like, you can see people living their lives in the mountains. It clearly means a lot to the guides to be able to show you their ancestral history, and at this point, everything is just so beautiful. Like, it just feels like a victory lap. You get to the peak of the final mountain, and you can look over, and you can see Machu Picchu sitting between these 2 mountains, and yeah, it's really emotional, honestly. So after that, you're basically just hiking down the mountain, and you'll basically come to a train station. Now, they'll give you an option to buy a train ticket. I forget how much it was, but basically it just takes you to the town of Aguas Calientes. If you don't buy the train ticket, you basically just walk along the train tracks, and we ended up buying the train ticket. Surprise. The train is very scenic though. So after the 4-day hikes, you finally arrive on the train to Aguas Calientes, and it's really a bizarre experience. Like, you've been so disconnected. To be in such a lively little town feels strange for a while. So that's pretty much the end of it. You hang out one last time, and then you wake up super early, and you prepare for the main event. And now when I say you wake up early, I mean it. Like, somehow we were on the first bus. I don't know exactly how they do it, but these guides, like, they know everyone. They're talking to all the guards at Machu Picchu. They know all the groundskeepers. You'll get to the top. You'll cut all the lines. It's crazy. The way the sun rises, you can still see into Machu Picchu, but you can't actually see the sun. It kind of peaks out between these 2 mountains. It'll make you wait just to see that sunrise, which is really something else. It's special. And then basically you get what you came for. You know, you walk through the city, he explains everything, you know, things you never would have seen. Super knowledgeable guide, obviously. And then basically once you walk through the city, that's it. You take your train back to Cusco and continue on with your Peru journey. That's really all I wanted to say in this video. It was really an amazing experience, and I would highly recommend it. It's going to be challenging, but someone who's in our group, someone a little bit older, who's saying, you know, it's bad now, but in a month you won't regret it. And I have to say, she was completely right. I don't regret it at all. It was really challenging, and it'll push you. We were so sore and so in pain. We almost skipped that last day of the hike, but man, every minute of it was totally worth it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Be sure to check out my other videos. We were in the Maldives recently, and I'll have some more videos coming up on our future travels. That's it. See ya.